Hello, everyone. Welcome to the April numerology forecast. We're going to be doing some live card pulls today, also for ruling numbers to see how, for each ruling number, you're going to be impacted in the month of April. So while everyone comes in, I'm just going to start talking a little bit about April overall and dive into some of the themes that are prevalent for the people who are watching this forecast. I always like to hone in on our specific group. So our forecast may be a little different than what I would do for the collective, but I'll include some collective themes as well so that you can understand what everyone's going through as a whole, because we are all still part of the collective. But for this group, some of the themes that are going to be prevalent are alignment, moving beyond the mind, focusing on developing and fine-tuning our third chakra abilities, manifesting, and further awakening and awareness. So those are some of the themes that are coming up for us, and I'll go into a little bit more what that's all about. Hello, Carla. Hello, Rosalie. Welcome. Thank you for joining live. Good to see you. And we'll go through, and if you are here on the live, do say hello in the comments. I love to read your comments as we go as well. And yeah, we're doing things a little different today. We're going to bring in those ruling numbers and do some readings to see what's up by ruling number. Now, if you don't already know what your ruling number is, you simply take all the digits of your birth date and add them together one by one. So, for instance, if your birthday is 11/12/1982, you just take the 1 plus the 1 plus the 1 plus the 2 plus the 1 plus the 9 plus the 8 plus the 2. You add those all together and you will get your ruling number. Now, if that number that you add together comes out to a number higher than the number 11, then you simply add the digits together to reduce that down. So let's say your answer came out to 32, you would just add the 3 plus 2 and you would get 5, and your ruling number would be 5. So that's how you calculate your ruling number. If you do need more help with that, you can post in the comments and I can come back later and help you. I also have videos on my YouTube channel that tell you easily how to calculate your ruling number and walk you through it a little bit more. So we have that available. So this month, April, is going to be another big energy month, and I'll probably be saying that every month all year, because this is a really big year in terms of our collective shift. Hi, Diana. Hello, Lucy. Good to see you guys. Thank you for joining live. And so for this month of April, we have the eclipse season starting. We have a Mercury retrograde starting, and we have some big energies happening. And we just moved out of, and are moving out still, of a huge energy month this month. So many big shifts, and of course the one that is most historical is the movement of Pluto into Aquarius. And we have been feeling that really affecting us in the past week since that move took place, really digging up a lot of that shadow stuff and bringing it to the surface. A lot of stuff coming up to being cleared and healed. And this is going to be a trend for 20 years. So how exciting. So we are going through that together collectively. But it is always most intense at the beginning and end of a big transit like that. So we are really feeling it right now. And, you know, if that stuff is rising up for you, if there has been a lot of big aha moments, big awakenings in the month of March, then you understand this is why this is happening, because there is this big transit happening and so many other things. I told you guys in the beginning of the March forecast, there was so much planetary movement, I didn't even try to break it down in a single forecast because it was just too much. It was a really big month. And this month, again, is going to be a big month. So, oh, Rosalie, your birthday's on the 28th. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to all the April birthdays. I'm on the 5th, so I get my birthday right on that full moon. So that's going to be really interesting. And we'll talk a little bit more about what that full moon means, too. But just to go back to the themes. So the themes basically All the themes that I read at the beginning, the alignment, moving beyond the mind, the third eye chakra, and really developing our intuitive and psychic abilities, manifesting and really going into a deeper level of awakening, of awareness. Those themes kind of all come together to go with the numerology of the month and the planetary movements, all of that. What we're going to see is making decisions from alignment with love over fear is going to be a big lesson for us this month, and something that we want to be conscious of and focus on is where are we making our decisions from. So when we are about to make a decision, especially a bigger one, which we will be making a lot of this month, we want to check in with ourselves and ask what our motivation is. Where is this coming from? Is this coming from my soul? Is this direction from my internal guidance system, or is this direction from my ego based on past experiences? So really checking in with yourself, thinking with the heart. That mind-heart coherence as our driving force is going to be a huge asset again this month, and of course just moving forward. This is part of what we're learning how to do better and better as we go. Meditation and contemplation are going to be critical to practicing observing and taking responsibility for quieting our minds and seeing where our old limiting beliefs and programming have been running us. So that's going to be another big thing. And then we're going to be developing and deepening our trust for our own intuition, our imagination, and our psychic abilities in order to see beyond all of the illusions and distortions that we've been living in for so long, that have been keeping us in our little self-made traps, our boxes, and really moving out of that more and more as we start to trust ourselves and our spiritual abilities more and tapping into those. So a lot of practicing with that this month. A lot of opportunities will present in order to encourage us to practice that. And sowing the seeds of your dreams. You know, we are in the springtime, so this is the time to plant. We're planting those seeds of our dreams, and you know, we've set our intentions last month with the one energy, and this month we're nurturing them. You know, we're nurturing that intention with higher thinking, with our imagination, with being in a vibrational feeling state matched to what we want, taking that strong positive action and then letting go of the results. So that is another thing that we're going to be wanting to focus on, is when you plant a seed, you need to do certain things to help it grow. And these are the things that we're going to be focusing on. Stretching outside your comfort zone is going to provide opportunities to awaken deeper and more and expand your consciousness more through learning, curiosity, and exploration. And energy clearing, shadow work, eating healthy foods, exercise, connecting with nature to recenter and rebalance is also going to continue to be important again this month. Doing what you love and enjoy to keep your vibration as high as possible, so that with all the chaos going on around us and all the distractions that are going to continue to be present all year, because we have that 3 in the year number. That's all about distractions and chaos. There's good things about it too. There's the creativity and the joy and the fun and all of that. But there's so many distractions and chaos going on as we're in this process collectively of entropy. It's so important to stay focused on what you love and keeping your vibration high as much as you possibly can. So those are what I meant by some of the themes that I read off right in the beginning. And for those of you who might not know me, I am Kristen Vallis. I am an advanced Egyptian numerologist, a channel, and a conscious impact coach. I guide speakers, writers, and creatives from feeling stuck, unworthy, anxious, to confidently freeing their voice and creative expression so that they can experience impact, fulfillment, peace, joy, all of those good things in their lives. And if you're watching the replay on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe to my channel for empowering information, and more numerology fun to enable you to raise your vibration and your belief in all that is possible, which is infinite. So coming back to the forecast, we're in the 2 energy month in April. So let me just check in with the comments. Yeah, lots of April birthdays. I love that. Hello, B. Good to see you. So we're not doing individual cards today, B. We're doing them by ruling number, and that will be coming in just a few moments. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the energy for the month. So we're in a 2 energy month. And the high expression of the 2 comes as love, compassion, connection, collaboration, communication, conversation, community, mediation. So you see all of these themes here about coming together as one unity, right? This is the 2 energy. 2 is also about stepping forward, making decisions. We'll be doing that a lot this month. It's about partnership. That can be romantic, it can be business, it can be friendships, any kind of partnership that can come through. It's about sharing and integrating ideas, which we will be doing a lot of this month, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Finding resources, which is also part of Venus, which we are still in the collective Venus season coming into the month. So this is about finding those resources, letting those resources present to you as you're nurturing those seeds that you've sown for your big dreams and visions. This is about activating passion, which will be moving into our collective Mars in the middle of the month. And that is about activating that passion, activating that solar plexus energy, feeling purpose. And then, of course, I mentioned tapping into your intuition, trust and faith in it, and in something greater than yourself, whatever you call that. Inclusion. And then the 2 can also be about government, laws, and the scale, if you think about the balance of the scale, right? So the 2 can be about that as well. The lower expression of the 2 energy is codependency in the biggest way, right? So any and all traits of codependency, including control, arguing, being insecure, indecisive, needy, clingy, hesitant, procrastinating, lonely, disconnected from yourself, isolating from others, confusion about things in general. This is the lower expression of that 2 energy. Now, we'll also be experiencing the 4 energy a lot because the 4 will be in the date every day this month because it's the 4th month of the year. So for the 4, the high expression of the 4 is intuition and psychic abilities. So both of these numbers have that intuition and that third eye chakra activated. So this is going to be a big theme this month. Leadership. So again, stepping forward and leadership, right? Hopeful. Being organized. The 4 is about organization. It's about foundation, structure. You think of 4 walls, a house, right? A foundation, something solid, something organized and containing. It's like a container, right? The 4 is productive. It's opportunistic. It's clever. Contractual. So that will be a big theme this month as well, is our contracts with business, with other people, with our housing, with our relationships, all of these different contracts. So that could be marriage, that could be business partnerships or client relationships. It could be contract that you have, like, you know, who am I working with for my medical care? Like, do I want to stay with this doctor? Do I, you know, all of these different contracts we have in our relationships are going to be coming up for renewal, and we will be making decisions about whether or not we want to renew them or get rid of them and look for new commitments, new contracts. The 4 is also about commitment. Practical. physically motivated, because the 4 is a physical number, whereas the 2 is an emotional number, but 2s can also be very mental. So we'll have all 3 of those themes overriding, and then of course the spiritual, because of some of the other numbers going on, and because of that strong pull to the intuition and the psychic nature that we have. Then 4s are also all about nature. They love being outdoors. They love to connect with nature. They love to do natural things, work with natural substances, with animals, with fibers, with food, with all of that kind of stuff. That's going to be a big theme this month. Completing tasks, furthering plans, management, strength, stability, safety, and satisfaction. So those are all going to be themes again this month. Low expression of the 4, fear. So this is where we really want to be mindful of this. Are we doing things from a place of soul-led decision making, or are we deciding from fear? Other low expressions of the 4: hoarding, discouragement, feeling unfulfilled, waiting and wanting, feeling dissatisfied, feeling exhausted, trapped, tedious, mundane, avoidant, unsteady, vulnerable, chaotic, right? So some of these things can come in the lower expression of the 4 again. So like I said, the chaos will continue around us. Do we want to participate in it, or do we want to tap into that higher side of the 4 and the 2 and decide to be focused on what we want and what we're the seeds that we're sowing and nurturing our dreams? Or are we going to allow ourselves to get caught up in the fear and distraction around us? So that's going to be really important to know about this month. And then this month begins on a 7 of spades, Jack of diamonds, 3 energy day. And it's also our Uranus day of the week collectively. It ends on a 4 of clubs, Jack of spades, 5 energy day, and that is a Neptune day of the week. So what all this tells me is that we'll be amplifying our higher purpose and our values to new heights. And we'll be doing that through creative expression. Those Jacks are really creative. The 3's really creative. The 5's really creative. So it'll be a lot about creative expression, clear communication, because we're going into a Mercury retrograde. So that's all about communication. Choosing to tap into our stories in an expanded way. And I'm talking about not just in this life, but in bringing forth all the wisdom we've learned over our many lives, or if you want to consider it as your ancestral heritage that is coming through, however you choose to look at that. But all the wisdom that we have in our lineage to bring into this one, to share with the world and create a new foundation of how we relate to one another. We'll be doing this on a very personal level first and moving it out. So we will notice this as a theme collectively as well, but the way to get there is through your own personal path. And that's what you'll want to be focused on this month. We have Venus and Mars seasons this month, like I mentioned earlier. So we'll be moving into the portion of the collective divine timing cycle where we take responsibility for owning our personal power, that solar plexus center energy, to create an integral, aligned foundation of trusting ourselves, trusting our intuition, our psychic abilities, to lead us forward in moving our purpose out into the world in a way that's authentic and unique to each of us. So we can experience greater satisfaction, so we can experience more freedom, fulfillment, and creative expression. You know, the people I'm talking to here, you guys are all creative in some way. You're artists, speakers, writers, other types, painters, dancers, singers, like all kinds of creative people in this group. And this is our month to really trust ourselves and tap into that internal power base in our solar plexus to really bring forth that expression. So we will be setting the foundation for that this month and expanding that next month. Uranus and Neptune, because they both bookend the month. So it will be a month of reflection, integration, and transformation and future visioning. And you know, looking at how do we take what is and make it better, what and who do we want to take with us moving forward, and what are we cutting out to bring more balance into our experiences. And that balance theme comes right in the beginning here with oh shoot, I don't have my calendar in front of me. Okay, well, we'll have to wing it. So with the full moon on the 5th, that is not an eclipse, but it is a very intense full moon because it's a 3 of spades, 7 energy day, and it is going to be a humdinger. So be prepared for that intensity. I feel like we're already feeling the intensity of it coming in. Let me know in the comments if you have been feeling that clearing happening already. Yeah. And oh, hello, Tammy. Good to see you too. Yeah, we're going to be feeling that clearing happening. If you haven't already, it's going to start intensifying as we move closer to a week from today, which is, or really a week from yesterday, which will be Wednesday, April 5th, and that is that full moon. So it happens later in the evening, so we'll feel it peak in the evening, and then and a lot of that intensity is going to even spill over into the next day. And it is in Libra, so it's going to bring us into more balance. The Libra is the scale, so whether you look at it as the 2 energy or you look at it as the Libra, either way, it's about balance. And because the 2 is so about relationships, and the 4 is also about commitments and small groups, family networks kind of thing, those are also relationships. So both of these numbers, I feel like there's going to be a lot of rebalancing in our relationships going on this month. I feel like at this full moon, there's going to be some decisions with that 7 energy to cut certain people out that aren't in alignment with who you are and where you are going. So if there are still people hanging around in your life that you have been dragging your feet about, doing something, making decisions about, you know what, this person just isn't aligned with me anymore, and they're not supportive to me and whatever, I really feel like this full moon is kind of going to give you that that push to do that. And something may occur that is potentially shocking, because just with that Uranus theme starting off the month, there can be surprises and shocks all month. That's part of Uranus, unexpected things that can happen if they haven't come up already. You may have had the reveal in March because of the energies that I talked about, with all of the unveiling of where you've been lied to and manipulated and all of that. These are the types of people I'm talking about that you'll be cutting out of your life. So if you've been finding that you've been a little bit unsure, or kind of like still navigating some of the surprise about who it might be that came up that you've discovered has been lying to you or manipulating you or doing any of those things, you may have been like, I'm not sure, like, is this really what's happening? Is that really what's been true? And then you'll get the clarity at this full moon, and you'll be like, I can't ignore this any longer. I need to make this shift. I need to step away from this person, or people, or whatever. For everybody, it's going to show up differently. The other piece of this energy that's going to come up is, and this whole month really is, the whole purpose is to take us higher. That 7 energy wants to take us higher. So we start the month with a 7 of spades, and then on the full moon we have a 7 energy, and we're in a 7 energy year. So it's about elevating us. It's about taking us higher. It's about taking your creative expression higher, because that full moon is on the 3 of spades day, which is all about creative expression for a higher purpose. So this is all about purpose. It's all about driven by that higher purpose theme that's going on. And what is our purpose? Our purpose is us, to be uniquely us, to be uniquely you, and express yourself authentically into the world in whatever way that you like to do that. But full moons are about endings, so that's why I say there's going to be some endings that come through with this full moon. Something is going to be cut away. It could be your own inner fears, because the Three of Spades is also about facing your fears. That's one of the Three of Spades' biggest challenges in their life. So it could have to do with that. It will be different for each of us, and you've probably already started to see a buildup of whatever theme is coming since we had the new moon last week. So that new moon was in 0 degrees Aries, so it was all about rebirth, and the rebirth process is not always clean or fun or whatever. It can be a little challenging sometimes, and if you've been experiencing that, you will find that this full moon will help bring some of that to a culmination. However, the new moon that just happened a week ago was in the Two of Diamonds, and the new moon that is the eclipse later this month is also Two of Diamonds. So those two new moons are pinging off each other. Eclipses can affect you from up to a month before and a month after the eclipse takes place. And because that new moon for both eclipses is in the Two of Diamonds, that's again about balance, that's about relationships, that's about using people for your own personal gain, whether it's you doing it or allowing someone to do it for you. And this Aries, the new moon in March was in 0 degrees Aries. The new moon eclipse in April is in 29 degrees Aries. So it's like you're coming into that completion of that rebirth process through that, because you're going from the beginning of Aries to the end of Aries in that cycle. So it's a very significant full moon. And if you are in Aries, all of this is occurring during your birthday season, and these new moons are in Aries. So and then in our opposite sign of Libra for the full moon. So it's really intense for Aries right now, but it's intense for everybody. I don't want to discount that at all because it is. But if you are in Aries, you're getting an extra special dose of boost and catapulting yourself upwards, forwards, moving your life to new heights. And that is happening for all of us, but definitely if you're in Aries. So my April birthdays and even the late March birthdays, those that fall in the sign of Aries, you're definitely feeling this. Yeah, thank you, Rosalie. I'm actually, because I don't have my calendar in front of me, and usually I do this with notes and a calendar and stuff, so I'm just going from what is channeling through and remembering, and this is the feel of this month. So I think this is a good time, though, because I wanted to make sure that we have time to talk about each ruling number and how you're going to experience the intensity of this month. So I've given you kind of a good overview. There is, again, just like last month, so much happening this month, planetarily, numerologically, all of that we can't possibly cover it in an hour forecast anyway. So I thought it would be more fun to try something new, since we're doing all the new right now, and rebirth and everything, and just pull by ruling number and see what we can expect per ruling number for the month of April. And so we'll do that right now. So let's start with ruling number 10s, because they are the higher expression of the one. We don't really count the one as a ruling number. We like to, we just go right to the 10 with the ones. So if your ruling number came out to a 1, you are a 10. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Let me just get some water here. Yeah, full moon on my birthday, so I'll be doing a lot of clearing and cutting all year. Yep, and aligning and raising my life higher. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting year for sure for me. Ruling number 10. So Yeah. Okay. So ruling number 10s, you got the 9 of Hearts and the 3 of Hearts. So there's going to be a lot of relationship stuff going on for you this month, ruling number 10s. You're going to be experiencing some completions of your relationships. You are definitely one of the people I was talking to with regard to this full moon. You're going to have a lot of completions, or not a lot. You might just have one major one, but it's going to be one that is, one that you've maybe been resisting letting go of, and it's time, and it is going to clear out. Whether you want to choose it or let it happen for you, it is going to happen, and this is going to really open you up to considering what you do want in your relationships. This one feels like abandonment or betrayal from someone that you trusted, you loved, and you're now really considering. There's some confusion, but that confusion will spur you to consider. And especially with the Uranus-Neptune influence this month, this is really about integrating and considering and reviewing what caused this situation to happen in the first place. This is going to be a month where you look at your own part in the relationship and take responsibility for, how did I end up in a relationship where I've now come to this place where I feel betrayed or abandoned, or realize that this person I trusted can't be trusted. This is really what you're going to be considering this month, and you're going to make some decisions going forward about what you want in your relationship, so that when you have that clarity, you're going to be attracting the kind of people that you want to yourself through that clarity, and through establishing clear boundaries with those that don't honor that for you, that don't resonate with that don't align. That's the word I'm looking for. That don't align with that and that integrity. And so it is going to be a big month of all about relationships for you, ruling number 10s, and it's going to be good. Trust the 9, because the 9 brings in wish fulfillment. And the thing is there's things you've been wishing for to experience in your relationship or ships that you haven't been, and it's because you've been accepting less than what you deserve. So this is really about taking that higher and looking at things from a bigger perspective. The 9 is also about looking at things from that higher level perspective, and so is Uranus and Neptune. So really stepping outside of the situation as an observer so you can get a clear perspective. Now the trick is that because we're going to be in eclipse season and Mercury retrograde, that can lend to fogginess, confusion, static in the air. So you're really going to have to hone inward, inside, and do the inner work. No matter what this person did or didn't do, there's something within you that accepted that behavior, attracted that behavior, created this type of drama into your life that you want to look at, and you want to get clear on, and forgive yourself and forgive the other person, and get to a place of gratitude so that you can move forward and start creating and experiences the relationships that will feel fulfilling for you. So that's ruling number 10s. All right. Let's do ruling number 11s, and then we'll move back into the 2s. So ruling number 11s, what are you going to experience for April? Okay, so for ruling number 11s, okay, this is going to be a good networking month for you, actually, because this is the 2 of clubs is all about having conversations, and the 8 of hearts is all about success with groups of people. But I also see another layer to this in terms of the relationships and the themes that we've been talking about, and there is, and this is important, is that you're going to be facing some fears around this. And you're going to experience some healing. You will have some success around this through the healing that's taking place. So trusting your own intuition is going to be key for you in order to navigate the fears that are coming up. And that's going to be the challenge as well. But I do see with this Eight of Hearts, you overcoming that challenge. So there will be a great healing and experience of personal power through your willingness to learn to trust yourself more, to face those fears about trusting yourself, whatever has come up in your past that has caused you to believe that you can't be trusted is what you're going to be navigating this month, so that you can have success with your interactions with people and in your relationships. And I do see that coming about. There is a healing taking place here as you're willing to face those fears. So ruling number 11s, that's going to be a big theme for you. Also because you are the higher spiritual expression of the two, so this is, being the 2 energy month and navigating that Venus-Mars collective energy, it makes sense that this would be coming up for you, that you will be experiencing this. And so really focus on, developing even greater trust for yourself and really being able to do that through conversation. So getting out there and having conversations that maybe they're not easy conversations for you to have, but you're willing to face that fear and have them anyway, you will find that you will end up feeling so much more empowered and more successful in all of the relationships that you're trying to develop. So let me know if you're a ruling number 11 or a 10, how that resonates. And Rosalie says, yep, spot on as far as insecurities go. Tammy says, oh, fudge. All right, so let's do ruling number 2s next. Which, if you are an 11, some of this too might also apply to you as well. And also, if you know your birth card, some of these might apply to you. So for instance, if you're an ace or a 10, you would want to listen to the 10 in terms of your birth card, as well as like a kind of backup forecast for your ruling number. If you don't know your birth card, that's okay. That's something that I can help you with. So you can put in the comments. I can do that later. And if you're a jack, you would be the 11. If you're a queen, you would be the 3. And if you're a king, you would be the 4. So if you do know your birth card. But like I said, if you don't worry about it. So now we're doing ruling number 2s for the month of April. And ruling number 2s, okay, you got 9 of spades and 4 of diamonds. So sometimes people freak out when they see the 9s. That does mean there's going to be endings, clearings. The 9 of spades is the ultimate 9. It's the ultimate clearing. So there's going to be some clearing out. And I feel like with that 4 of diamonds, there's going to be some physical healing going on here. I feel like this is physical. This also has to do with maybe your finances and how that ties into your expression of your purpose. So if you've been struggling with your financial situation and or your health, I think that things are going to those things are going to be really in focus for you this month, and there's going to be a lot of clearing around that as you start to let go of a lot of those things standing in your way of really the 9 of spades wants you focused spiritually. And if you haven't been focused spiritually and you've been trying to play too much in the physical world, that 9 is going to kick your butt a little bit, but in a good way. It's going to push you to take things more spiritual, take things more inward in order to move upward and really experience a fulfillment like you've not been able to imagine, especially because, we had the Jack of Spades as an underlying energy at the bookend of the month. that's taking you to that new initiation of higher level spirituality, spiritual experience, expression of purpose. And this 9 is on the path to that. But I see, because you have the 4 of diamonds there, that's a Jupiter card. That does again mean, just like the 11s, you will be successful in this. You will experience more stability in whatever area that you've been struggling with, whether it's your health or your finances, or your work, your expression of your purpose, whatever that looks like for you. This is going to be a good clearing. It's going to be really beneficial. But do prepare yourself to. This is really a month, if you are not taking care of your body, if you're not eating healthy, you definitely want to make sure you're doing that too. Really take care of yourself, good foods, lots of hydration, cut out the junk, cut out the food additives, the preservatives, the sugars, the caffeine, all of that stuff. And really allow the cleansing to occur on a physical level, because that will also help you experience it on an emotional level, a mental level, and a spiritual level. This is a great time to make sure that you're getting outside as much as possible, in the sun, putting your feet on the ground, spending time with animals, whatever kind of connection you can have with nature, planting, gardening, anything like that. However you like to ground yourself or connect more with the natural world is going to be beneficial to you too. So all of that's going to be for your best and highest good, and just trust that. But there's, the 9 of spades covers all areas of your life. So big clearing going on for you too. All right. Let me know if there are any ruling number 2s in the group and how that resonates with you. Ruling number 3s. And you guys can just pop in your ruling numbers too into the comments and let me know what your ruling number is. Ruling number 3s. What can you expect in April? Okay. So April, also a big clearing month for the ruling number 3s, but you have a different outcome. You have the 2 of spades. So this clearing for you, ruling number 3s, is really going to be, again, very purpose-focused and or health-focused, or both. Same advice for you, ruling number 3s, as the 2s that I gave in terms of your health and making sure that you're hydrating, eating really clean, allowing the cleansing to occur. If you have been considering a cleanse of any kind, this would be an awesome month to do that. It will be very effective for you. And the 2 of spades, though, as your result, is bringing you into those higher conversations, those higher connections. So it will be a month about relationships for you for sure. It's also, I see what's clearing out for you is massive codependent behaviors. So as 3s, sometimes there can be these tendencies to manipulate because of anxieties and insecurities that can come up, and that is also with the 9s and the 2s that I'm seeing in your reading. So, I really feel like some of that is going to be really coming up to be cleared out. Let it happen, because this will enable you to tap into your creative expression on a fuller level through your intuition, through trusting yourself more. That's the big theme for you. I know I gave that as a theme overall, and yes, you are going to really be asked to do this. So, stop looking to the outside world to give you direction and go inside is really the message for you, really number 3s. And also I feel like this is also preparing you to be more comfortable and willing to be seen by more people. So the 2 of spades is about that willingness to be seen and share yourself with the world, sharing your gifts, sharing your purpose on a larger scale. And, I feel like that even though that is part of being a ruling number 3, is to love that spotlight and want to be like the actor, the performer, all of that. There's something that in your past or your past experience that's been holding you back from fully expressing in that way, from really being willing to be seen fully in your creative expression. And so this month is going to help clear a lot of that stuff out. Like I said, a lot of that codependency clearing out to create that willingness in you to, and the foundation of security for you to be able to feel like it's okay. You can let yourself fully shine. You can let yourself be seen fully, and you are here to serve through that. The 9 wants to be of service, and yet, when we're rooted in, again, making decisions from fears instead of trusting ourselves, instead of doing what's right for us, that can prevent us from being comfortable and fully showing up. There's some muck there that needs to be let go of. And so this is a month for you, ruling number 3s, to really let that go. All right, so let's do ruling number 4s. Okay. I must not be hitting ruling numbers of people who are live right now because I'm not seeing too many comments, but let's do ruling number 4s next. If you have a ruling number you want me to jump to, I can do that. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going in order here. Okay. So ruling number 4s, you're going to be all about the Queen of Diamonds and the 5 of Hearts. So the Queen of Diamonds and the 5 of Hearts together, I think there's going to be a lot of relationship stuff coming up for you this month as well. That Queen of Diamonds can be very confused about her relationships and where she wants to commit. And so I see that piece as part of this reading for you, is that you will be making some decisions or called to make some decisions. By the end of the month, this 5 is really going to push you to choose, to make some choices. And if there is, like I said, some endings that need to occur, or some changes that need to occur in your contracts with people, whether they be marriage contracts or business partnerships or client relationships or a family member or friend, whatever kind of contract. So it doesn't need to be a written contract, but your agreement to be in relationship with these people, there might be one, a significant one, or more than one that you decide you need to make some changes to. Now, sometimes we think the cutting away, it's not always that you're going to completely sever a relationship. Sometimes it's that you're going to change the dynamic of that relationship or make it better. So even with that 7 on the full moon, it can mean that, and this is for everyone, but also for ruling number 4s this month, this can be for you in terms of your relationships, is that you might just expand your consciousness together in your relationship and choose to move forward with it, but in a better way. To make sure that your needs are fulfilled, you're going to need to look within yourself in order to really make sure that you're giving yourself everything that you need and that you don't need it from outside of you. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing with this, this for ruling number 4s with this combo, is the business aspect of it. The Queen of Diamonds and the 5 together tell me that this is going to be a good month for you to get out there, to promote your business, to promote what you do if you are in business for yourself in any way. So, and as creatives, it doesn't matter how that turns out for you. It doesn't mean, if you're a painter, you get out there and you share that. If you're a writer, you start sharing that, you're a writer, and share some of your work, whatever that means for you. But I see this calling you into that, take advantage of this, because there's some good energy here to really have success in promoting yourself when you tap into that, that financial prowess, that business prowess that the Queen of Diamonds has. It's all about intuition and expansion for the 4s this month in terms of your relationships and your professional life. So, ruling number 5s. You're a 9. Yeah, I guess you have to be patient. All right, really number fives. Where are my fives in the house? I know we had at least one on the call. And I'll try and wrap this up quick because I know we're getting close to the hour. So, really number fives, you are going to be letting go of your stories. Look at that. Jack of Spades and Nine of Spades. So, you're going to be letting go of your old ideas and beliefs about your stories and really coming into a level of honesty with yourself that you've never had before. Because this Nine of Spades is going to really make you see that. The Jack of Spades and the Nine of Spades combo together. It's really going to make you see where you've been out of integrity with yourself and your soul. And helping you to come into this initiation of this higher level of relating, being, thinking, expressing your stories. So your stories can be very powerful in helping other people, and I see that with this Nine of Spades being the result, not the challenge. So really coming into that greater fulfillment through the reframing of your stories, but also the sharing of those stories and the wisdom, the spiritual wisdom that you already have. The Jack is the initiate, the spiritual initiate, but he knows enough. He knows quite a bit. And so he can share what he knows and help the world through his stories, through his experiences. And I'm talking about this life, past lives, ancestral, whatever you want to call it. That Jack of Spades has a story to tell, and it is powerful. That I see that the power of it because of this Nine of Spades result to help the world. So really stepping into that 2 month, right, wants you to step forward into sharing your stories, telling your stories to really bring fulfillment to yourself and be aligned, and to let go of any of the stuff that you're telling yourself that is holding you back from sharing them. So yeah, you like that, Lucy. I thought you would. You can't make this up, right? We were just having a similar conversation to this. Lucy's a ruling 5, and really, like, you can't make this up, right? So this is saying, get out there, tell your stories. You are going to feel that pull to purpose this month like nobody's business. So if you are resisting it or feeling the resistance, because that 9 can bring in some resistance, try to do what you can to drop the resistance and let it happen. Just let the old stuff clear out, and you will do that by telling your story. That's actually the way through the resistance, is sharing your story. So that'll clear out a lot for you. It will bring a great healing and clearing so that you can really experience that higher fulfillment, 5s. Okay, ruling number 6s. Let's see what's coming up for you in April. Oh my goodness, okay. You can't make this up. Like, I did shuffle, and you also got the Queen of Diamonds and 5 of Hearts. Now, ruling 6s are a lot about family and relationships and love. That's their thing as 6s. So I am thinking that for you, this is a big part of that, but it's also 6s are about purpose and staying on purpose. So I'm going to say that this is very similar to the reading I gave, I believe it was the 4s, who got the same cards. So for 4s and 6s, you're going to have a very similar experience this month in terms of the confusion around relationships, and then making some choices, being called to make some choices. You're going to be put in or presented with situations where you have to choose, or it's just going to get really messy, really uncomfortable, and you really don't want that. So 6s, I think, 6s and 4s, I think, can make a decision pretty well. Like, 4s are going to go from a more practical standpoint. 6s are going to go from a more mental standpoint. So for sixes, I would caution you to make sure you're tapping into your intuition and your highest self before making those choices, and don't let the confusion around you or even within your own ego mind to be the driving force for your choices. And again, for you, also purpose expression, using and leveraging that Queen of Diamonds to really, and this is for fours and sixes, really using that Queen of Diamonds. She has some great spiritual wisdom, and this is often unknown about her, but when she taps into some of the more metaphysical realms of existence that is available to us, and especially with that 5, I like that for this reading, is really tapping into some of those more metaphysical realms of wisdom to bring forth into your relationships and your business, if you have one, your creative expression, because the Queen is also the higher 3. The 5's also very creative. So really tapping into that to expand your influence, your nurturing of others in that physical world experience, because the Queen of Diamonds is all about that, but bringing in the spiritual into the physical. So that's really what I see again for the sixes. All right, let's do ruling number 7s. Thanks, Diana. I'm glad you're finding it resonates. And I'm just gonna do an extra shuffle here just to make sure but you know, I always trust what comes up, even if they're the same cards, because what are the odds? You know, you're shuffling. So, all right. So for the 7s, ruling number 7s. And 7s, this will be a big month for you because of that full moon on the 7 energy day. So there's that. But let's see. Yeah, I nailed that one. All right, so 7s. You got the Ace of Spades and the Ace of Hearts. Okay, so this month is big transformation for you, and it's going to bring you into greater self-love, which is everything. Because when you love yourself and truly love yourself at a deep level, everything else falls into place. You get very clear on what you want, why you want it, what, you know, where you're going, where you're headed, all of that. And there's a lot of newness coming in for you this month, 7s. There's a lot of rebirth. So I'm not kidding about that full moon. You will be impacted directly by that full moon because of the 7 energy day. And experiencing the rebirth this month. So there could be new jobs coming in. There could be new relationships coming in because of these aces. It's all about the new. It's all about rebirth. And because the Ace of Hearts, that's the new relationships, the desire for love also. So you'll be navigating some codependency, but I really feel like because that's your result card, it's whatever this rebirth process is that you're going into is actually going to bring you into a higher state of self-love. So you will start to understand at a deeper level that it's your personal responsibility to love yourself. That is not anyone else's responsibility, 7s, and letting go of that that old outdated belief that codependency that 7s can also, that attachment, right, that comes along with being a 7 sometimes, that's really going to be a big theme for you, is letting go of those attachments. And this is going to be a big part of this rebirth process. And in that process, you could just decide like to take your life in a whole new direction, new job, new people, new purpose, new. So a lot of rebirth happening for you, which is really exciting, big transformations. And I think that you're going to really set the tone for the rest of your year, sevens. So this is a big month for you as well, and as it is for everyone, but really seeing a lot of newness there for you, which can really feel, I think at this point for sevens, is going to feel really refreshing. I think you're ready for it. You're just so done. Tell me if I'm wrong, sevens, but I really feel like that's just what's rolling out of my mouth. Like that's what's coming through. All right, ruling number eights. We're almost there, B. Thanks for hanging in. All right, so ruling number eights. If you are ruling number eight, this month, all right. So you're going to be, this is, wow, all about mental, mastering your mind and harnessing your mind power through your heart. So really number eights, this is really about that mastery for you, because eights are always about mastery. And for you, this 10 of clubs in the Queen of Hearts is really calling you into that. So the 10 of clubs is really, really incredible mind power. They have these incredible minds that can think in ways that most of us can't do. And the only downside of that is that sometimes their mind can become bigger than everything else and can start running the show. And I love this Queen of Hearts coming in, because that tells me that this month, for really number eight, you're really going to start learning the value of taking the time to nurture yourself, feel your emotions, make some decisions intuitively from your soul, from your heart space, instead of letting your mind run the show. But you're going to be harnessing the power of that mind through this heart-mind coherence that you're developing this month. And by doing that, you're going to be able to direct your mind to work for you. And if you want help with that, we're starting a new round of the brain game soon, and that's exactly what we do in this program. So April 10th, we start. Reach out to me and I can help you with this to really develop this, because this is a powerful month for you. The 10 of clubs is on the crown line of the life spread. So, and because you've got a queen here too, this tells me that you're, coming into a place of leadership as you come into this mastery. Leadership to really, this is really about your personal expression, your authentic expression, and through that you're modeling for others the permission basically to do that by showing them. So 10 of clubs have a lot of responsibility because they're on that crown line, yet they're not a court card. And so when we get into this, earth world, the whole system gets shuffled around and becomes a little chaotic, and we end up in these positions on the life spread that don't feel comfortable to us because they're not our natural spiritual place in the spread. And the 10 of clubs is a great example of where they could be a little bit reluctant to lead, but they're in that position on the crown line, and so they are here to lead, and they are here in the Mars position, which is also significant for this month because we're going into our collective Mars. So it's really about taking that responsibility for your thinking, for mastering your mind, and creating that mind-heart coherence in a way that really enables you to nurture yourself and others and bring a greater experience of love into your life in whatever way that is for you, that you desire, because remember, you're planting and sowing those seeds this month. So big month for eights as well. And now, those of you patient ruling number nines that have been waiting all the way to the end. And the 9 does bring us to completion, so it is actually the perfect number to end on. So thank you, B, for waiting. All right. And you can also add up the birthdays for people in your life that you know and apply these forecasts to them, so you'll have a kind of understanding of what they're experiencing this month, which can help create more love, compassion, and collaboration spirit with you, to help you move through the month with greater grace and ease, which is what Uranus is all about. All right, so really number nines, you got the Three of Spades and the Four of Hearts. So you are coming into, so the Three of Spades is wanting to call you into that higher purpose, creative expression. And the Four of Hearts is calling you home to yourself. So as you tap into and are willing to create for that higher purpose. So if you're creating right now and you're just doing it to do, nothing wrong with that. That's great. But this Three of Spades is saying there's a purpose for it. There's if you're like creating and you're not allowing it to be seen, for instance, you're not sharing it, or there's something maybe you were thinking about bringing through for others to like maybe a more spiritual edge or some sort of higher purpose edge to what you've been creating than you've been doing. This is definitely the month you're being called to do that and create a new foundation for that. By doing that, it's going to bring you into more alignment with who you are. That Four of Hearts wants to bring you home to you, to bring you home to your truth, to help you create a foundation of love within yourself from which you can spring forth more creativity, more purpose, more expression. And it also, I see here, you may be working more than one job this month. So if you have, or branching out into multiple directions, creating a new avenue for yourself, and not that you will be stopping one, you'll be doing the one you're doing and then adding something else to it possibly. So that may be creating a stronger foundation for or stability in your home life for you, or in your sense of self as well. So that can be two ways that this manifests for you, really number nines this month. And I really see you though branching out into some new creative pursuits, or making some changes in those creative pursuits that add more to it, that add that level of purpose to it, that add more meaning to it of what you're doing. So so that you will really feel like more you by doing that, and that's always a good thing. So that's coming through, and I think that's also going to impact your relationships as well. Especially your closest contractual relationships. That Four of Hearts is about our relationship contracts. So through that creativity, you may land a new contract. You may land a new client. You may experience some shifts in your personal life that create more stability, more love, more satisfaction than you've had in a long time. So I see some really good things coming through for the nines, and I think you're probably ready for them. So tap into that creativity and really get curious about what that means for you, and be willing to step forward into it. I think that hesitation or that anxiety that can come with being a nine, and with that added three there, that is something that you may need to navigate. And so just be aware of that you get to do what's right for you, and really trust your intuition, feel into it, so that you it's not about creating anxiety for yourself. It's about if you channel that same frequency energy of anxiety into love, and love for self first, you will find that your creative juices flow more easily, and you're able to express yourself in a higher way. So I think that's really coming through too for you nines, because I know you do have that issue with anxiety, and seeing that 3 and 9 together, or the 3 coming through there with your 9. I really do want to bring that to your attention, that this isn't something that's supposed to cause you anxiety. It's supposed to be fun. So 3 of Spades, you want fun expression, right? Joy, celebration. This is what you're all about, and this is what the 3 of Spades wants to encourage you into too. And as you allow yourself to take life so seriously, bring some fun in, I think that'll make a big difference for you this month. So That wraps us up for all the ruling numbers and for our forecast for the month. Thank you so much for joining live, and for those of you joining on the replay, whether you're here in the Facebook group or you're on YouTube, please drop a comment, say hello, let me know how this resonated with you. I'm so glad that was worth the wait, B. You're welcome. And let me know during the month, come back, let me know how your month is going and how this is panning out, if it ends up being like what I've been describing or something different. I'm always curious and open to hearing your feedback and love to receive it. And if you found this helpful, please do share it with your friends and family. I love your getting the message out and really sharing this with everyone as much as possible. Thank you again for being here, and I love you. Bye-bye for now.